Oh hi. Ciudad Juarez, the city in Mexico in a northern part of the state of Chihuahua, the administrative center of Municipality Juarez. The population of Juarez is 1.5 million people. It is located on the river of Rio Grande, Rio Calent del Norte, to the south from El Paso, the state of Texas. Ciudad Juarez and El Paso make the second largest binational metropolitan area on border between Mexico and the USA, after San Diego, Tijuana, with the total number of population more than 2.5 million people. It is called in honor of Benito Juarez. There are 4 international ports of import connecting Ciudad Juarez and El Paso, including the Bridge of America, the International Islet Bridge, Zaragoza, Paso del Norte and Stanton Street Bridge. On them 22,958,472 transactions in 2008 are made at this Ciudad Juarez by the main point of entry and import into the USA in the central part of northern Mexico. Juarez, the growing industrial center with more than 300 McAleder. The assembly plants, located in the city and its vicinities. According to article The New York Times of 2007, Ciudad Juarez absorbs now more new areas of the industrial real estate than any other city of North America. In 2007, the FIDE magazine called Ciudad Juarez City of the Future. In the 2010th it became known as the World Capital of Murders because of activity of cartel of Juarez and gang of Barrio Aztec. The name Juarez is given in honor of the national hero, the President of Mexico Benito Juarez. Before arrival of Spaniards across the territory of 2 days, El Paso, the Indian tribes of Mansa, Ibag and Jumano, being engaged in hunting and collecting, wandered. White visited the area, presumably 4 survived Spaniards of Narvaez's expedition destroyed by Indians transported here through Rio Grande in 1536 or 1538 became the first. The Spanish researcher Juan de Oniate, spring of 1598, also made here a crossing, noted convenience of the area to a travel on the north, having named him El Paso Pass. In 1659 the Spanish missionaries based several Catholic missions at which on the southern coast of Rio Grande the small village of El Paso del Norte appeared. In 1680 the village temporarily became the capital of the huge Spanish territory New Mexico after here survivors in the slaughter arranged to Indian Pueblo. The Spanish settlers fled Santa Fe, including administration of the territory. After suppression of an Indian mutiny, the government of the territory returned to Santa Fe. 1692. Throughout the 18th century the city successfully developed, thanks to convenient location on the road between 2 main economic and political centers of the region, Santa Fe and Chihuahua. Events of the Texas War of Independence of 1835-1836 mentioned El Paso del Norte a little. The share of white didn't exceed 10% of population, and the most part of Indians and Métis were unaffected also by Republic Texas claims for possession of the city, and by attempts of Mexico to reserve him. From the conclusion of Velazquez contracts up to annexation of Texas by the United States, 2 administrations, Mexican and Texas, which were generally ignoring each other, worked in the city. At the same time the Mexican mayor's office was engaged in affairs of Indians and Métis, and Texas, white, which number increased in process of arrival of immigrants. Guadalupe Hidalgo's contract through line between Mexico and the USA directly in the middle of the city, having divided them into the Mexican and American parts. During the French intervention of 1862-1867, the state of Chihuahua was a stronghold of the Republican government of Benito Juarez. In 1888, El Paso del Norte was renamed into his honor to Ciudad Juarez. The city quickly developed and grew rich thanks to trade with the USA. But during Civil War of 1910-1917 it made it the desired purpose for warring parties. Groups of insurgents under Pancho Villa's command twice, in 1911 and 1913, tried to capture Ciudad Juarez, having destroyed his most part during storms. From 1914 to 1917 the city was almost abandoned, citizens ran up, being afraid of continuation of fights for him. However, thanks to tourism, the industry of gamblings and entertainments and also light industry by 1920 Ciudad Juarez surpassed pre-war indicators in population and DDD. Since the end of the 1980s, the violent growth generated by fight of drug cartels with each other became the most serious problem for the city. Ciudad Juarez is located in the desert of Chihuahua, on border of three states, Texas, New Mexico and Chihuahua. On the opposite coast of Rio Grande there is a large American city of El Paso, together with which Ciudad Juarez forms boundary agglomeration. Climate of the city, hot desert, height above sea level also has a great influence on them. The most part of rainfall drops out from July to September, during action of monsoons. Summer in Ciudad Juarez very much roast, winter cool and dry. Snow drops out time in several years. According to a census of 2010, the population was 1,321,004 persons. The sixth city on the population in Mexico. The considerable share of increase in population to Ciudad Juarez is provided by migrants from the internal areas of Mexico and the countries of Central America. Many of them arrive here and hope to illegally cross border with the USA, but as a result remain to live in Juarez. About a half of citizens was born outside the state of Chihuahua, and every 10th outside Mexico. The major factors defining economic development of Ciudad Juarez are the proximity to the USA and existence of a large number of cheap labor. Thanks to it, the main branches of city economy became tourism, services sector, light industry, assembly of cars and household appliances, food industry. According to the El Paso Regional Economic Development Corporation, Ciudad Juarez absorbs more new areas of the industrial real estate than any other city of North America. In 2007, the FIDE magazine, belonging to Financial Times, called Ciudad Juarez one of Latin American cities of the future. The metropolitan area Ciudad Juarez, El Paso, the large industrial center. At telecommunications and Electrolux, Bosch, Siemens, Foxconn, Flextronics, Lexmark. Electronics and electrical equipment. Johnson Controls, Visteon, Lear Corporation, Yazaki. Automotive components. Boeing. The space equipment. Cardinal Health. The medical equipment. Delphi Corporation, Sumitomo and several other foreign companies chose Ciudad Juarez for economic activity. Transport. The city is served by the International Airport of Abraham Gonzalez, with a passenger turnover about card people a year. 2012. Regular passenger flights are performed to all main cities of Mexico. For flights across the USA, citizens use the airport of El Paso, which is on other coast of Rio Grande. In Juarez, the Mexican federal highways No. 2 and No. 45 with the American I-10 are crossed. Two branches of the railroad passing through the city are used only in the cargo purposes. The basis of public transport is made by a set of bus routes, a part from which is operated by municipality and a part private carriers. The first line of 5 buses expresses 25 kilometers. And plans of city administration start of 5 more lines works. First bridge through the river of Rio Grande in El Paso del Norte is built at the time of New Spain, more than 250 years ago, of the tree brought from Santa Fe. Today, in honor of this bridge, a called modern Santa Bridge Fe Street, the bridge in Santa Street Fe, the street in the downtown of El Paso. 4 bridges connect El Paso and Ciudad Juarez. Paso del Norte Bridge, also known as Santa Fe Street Bridge, Bridge of America, Stanton Street Bridge and Islet Bridge, also known as Bridge Zaragoza. Also there is an overland boundary transition in next Santa Teresa, the state of New Mexico, and the International Fabens-Casset Bridge in nearby Fabens, the state of Texas. Crime. In the last decades, Ciudad Juarez gained ill fame as the city of which very unsuccessful criminogenic situation is characteristic. The whole world murders of women in Ciudad Juarez, which number of the victims since 1993 made more than 370 people shocked. The Mexican non-governmental organizations NGO called the city of Ciudad Juarez the most criminogenic city of the world in 2009. As they note, only for the first 10 days 2010 in Ciudad Juarez were killed, according to unofficial data, more than 100 people. In 2009 from violent death in the city 35 people died, and 191 murders are the share of 100,000 people. It is all about the drug cartels which are engaged in illegal drug traffic. They are responsible for a huge number of kidnappings, murders, briberies of police and other crimes. Corruption deeply got in law enforcement agencies owing to what the mayor was forced to dismiss nearly a half of all police officers of the city and to ask the federal authorities to enter army divisions into the city. Being located on border with the USA, Juarez is the important transport hub. The cartels which are engaged in illegal drug traffic fight decades for spheres of influence in the city. Through it to the USA there are large consignments of cocaine and methamphetamine. Nevertheless, in comparison with the most unsuccessful 2010, recently violence level in the city considerably decreased. Movies. Conan Destroyer. 1984. The considerable part of stages was removed in the desert near the city. The Day After Tomorrow. 2004. To Ciudad Juarez, the United States government is evacuated. The Boundary Town. 2006. Action occurs in the city. The Forcing 4. 2009. Judging by signs and geographic location, a final pursuit begins to Ciudad Juarez. The Bridge. 2013. Series which action happens in El Paso, USA, and in Juarez, Mexico. The Murderer, 2015. The movie, most of which part of actions is developed in Juarez, Mexico. The Advisor, the movie which part of action occurs in Ciudad, Juarez. Famous natives and inhabitants. Susana Chavez, 1974-2011. Is the Mexican human rights activist and the POTUS. Carla Martinez, Sword, 1975. The Mexican journalist and the TV host. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.